The next cast we're going to demonstrate is a modification of the short arm cast, the thumb Spica, a very common cast that's applied. And in this demonstration, we will emphasize the water dipping technique and how that helps facilitate the molding of this cast, and also how the scissors and cutting allows for the use of wider material for the application of this cast. So now we'll do what would be a standard thumb Spica cast. Distal palmar crease to 2 fingers, including the thumb. Remember, as we discussed with the short arm cast, the stockinette begins to determine the fit and the dimensions of the cast. We need just a small hole for the thumb. And then we can apply the stockinette again, using extra stockinette proximally so that we can make it more comfortable with 2 layers of stockinette proximally and 1 layer for function distally. Now, as we apply the 1-inch stockinette to the thumb, we're going to apply a double layer, and that will be the only padding that we use over the thumb. Again, by making 1 cut in the 1-inch stockinette, we can apply it over the thumb. And now, before we apply the padding, we need to establish the position with the patient. Again, for the thumb Spica, we should have apposition of the thumb and index finger and a slight amount of dorsiflexion. So we want the patient to have thumb and index finger opposed, neutral radial ulnar deviation, and the patient just needs to maintain that position as we apply the padding. Again, the ulnar styloid requires attention for extra padding. Distal palmar crease, just as before. And then distal palmar crease as we come through the web space. As we move up the arm, again, we're compressing distally and stretching proximally so that we maintain a flat fit of the padding throughout the arm. And again, we will apply no padding to the thumb because we won't be using the cast saw on the thumb. As we mentioned before, and as we did with the short arm cast, the first half of the roll will be used without exposure to water. So we will put the foil pouch on the table so we'll have a place to lay the second roll. As we come around the thumb, we're going to use the scissors to cut. We'll do that 1 more time. And then through the web space. And you'll notice that we're not applying any extra tension as we apply the casting tape. We're just laying it on the padding, which has already established the fit of our cast. So now we can roll back the stockinette. And again, we want to see distal palmar crease. And we're ready to apply the final layer. Now we will dip the roll in water. And start proximally. And we will repeat one more time around the thumb. Through the web space. Now, as we wet our gloves, we're at the smoothing. And you can see the flexibility we have with the material at this point in time so that we can regain the position if the patient has changed positions. Now we want to smooth the cast. And again, around the thumb, we're molding with our thumb, using resistance on the back of the cast. Relax. Just relax. And we need to hold the material until we can take our hands away and it retains the shape that we desire. So, as we can see, the completed cast is flat in the lateral projection, well molded through the palm and around the thenar eminence, below the distal palmar crease for 90 degrees of flexion at the MCPs, 2 fingers from the distal palm, or from the crease of the elbow, and comfortable. This will remain soft even upon complete setting because we've only put one layer up to this point, and then it becomes very rigid as we move down the cast. So we have a very strong radial gutter because of our Spica design and a very well-fitting cast.